Welcome back to my KEEPUP channel. Woman's horror after being randomly attacked by homeless Afghan immigrant, 23, who repeatedly punched her in the face and tried to smash down a door as she sought refuge in a neighbor's home as he is jailed for 3 years. This is the moment a young woman screams in terror and runs for her life after being punched repeatedly in the face by a stranger in a horrific unprovoked attack. Aisha Waris, 23, fled into the home of a neighbor to escape from crazed Gulwali Stanksay, who had left her face dripping in blood. She had been walking home by herself at night in February when she was confronted by the crazed 22-year-old, who attacked her 3 times. Stanksay, an Afghan immigrant, was today sentenced to 3 years in prison after admitting assaulting Miss Waris. The horrifying attack in Harlesden, northwest London, was caught on a Ring doorbell camera belonging to Richard Jarman, who had come out of his house after hearing screaming in the street. In footage played to Harrow Crown Court this afternoon, Miss Waris is seen walking up to Mr. Jarman's front door, whimpering in fear, pleading with Stanksay to stop. She then screams out "no" as he pursues her onto the property and begins a flurry of punches to her head and face, forcing her to seek shelter inside the house. Mr. Jarman can be heard shouting at the attacker, "You're on camera," before shutting the door. Stanksay attempted to gain access to the terraced property by taking a series of running kicks to the door before smashing the glass and the doorbell camera with a bike lock. In her victim impact speech read to the court, Miss Waris revealed how she is now too scared to leave her home and is afraid to be on her own. She said, "This incident has caused me a lot of distress and had an impact on my emotions and my mental health. I have also sustained physical injuries included bruising and swelling to my eyes, nose and lip. I had many bruises on my head, neck, shoulder and back. I have had to go to hospital to receive treatment for my physical injuries. The CT scan showed that there was no internal damage and it was all external. This was hard for me because it made me feel conscious about the way I looked and I did not feel good about myself. I could not even do my makeup due to the pain and the swelling of my facial injuries." Miss Waris told the court she has attended counseling sessions and said, "I feel very vulnerable at the minute. I keep thinking about the incident and wondering what I could have done, or if I could have done more. I keep thinking about the future and whether this could happen again. The thought of the incident replaying in my head kept me from sleeping. I feel anxious and stressed. I have recently lost my mom and this incident has added my anxiety and sadness. I also am wary about going out of the house. I used to love going out by myself, for example, going for walks, and was independent. However, this attack has taken my independence away from me. I now feel that I need someone with me when I go out in order for them to help me if anything like this would happen again. I barely step out the house after this incident and have noticed myself how little I go out. I used to go out every weekend with my friends, but no longer feel I am able to do this. I do not feel safe outside of the house. I also do not feel safe in my own house when my dad is at work and my family have gone to school and college. This incident has had a massive impact on my life and well-being. This has impacted my family and we do not go out together as much anymore. I would say this incident has had a greater impact on my relationship with my friends. I barely see them anymore due to the attack and me being too scared and worried to leave my house. We still use the phone to keep in contact, but it is not the same." Miss Waris said she is still too stressed to work and is now receiving sick pay because of the painful migraines she continues to suffer. She added, "I have bills to pay and have not been able to pay these this month." Miss Waris had been walking home along Mine Avenue in Harlesden at 7:30 p.m. on February 26 when Stanksay suddenly and deliberately rode his bike into her and started punching her repeatedly in the head and shoulders for about a minute. He rode away and shocked and dazed, she continued her short journey back home but noticed seconds later he was again walking towards her menacingly. Stanksay punched her repeatedly again, forcing Miss Waris to cover her face and run towards Mr. Jarman's home. She approached the house and was begging Stanksay to leave her alone, but he ignored her pleas and launched a third savage assault. Once inside the property, she wiped the blood away from her nose and lip. Enraged, Stanksay turned his fury on a Toyota Prius parked out in the street and caused £3,445 worth of damage to the car before turning his attention to Mr. Jarman's front door. Footage from the doorbell camera shows him taking several flying kicks at the door before he starts to smash the camera and a pane of glass with his bike lock, causing more than £4,000 worth of damage. Miss Waries had been on the phone when she was attacked initially, and the friend on the other end of the line had managed to contact her father, Abdullah Khan, who drove to the scene. Mr. Khan, who was accompanied by his other daughter, confronted Stanksay outside the house. Security footage shows the moment he too was attacked by the defendant, who punched him 2 or 3 times and dragged him along the road before fleeing. Miss Waries suffered a bruised lip, a swollen nose, and red marks and bruising to her chest, shoulders, and face. Her father suffered a black eye and broken tooth. Stanksay, who had come to Britain as an unaccompanied 16-year-old from Afghanistan in 2016, had been in and out of immigration centers and was homeless at the time of the attack. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of assault, ABH, and 2 counts of criminal damage at a previous hearing in May. He admitted this afternoon that he was also in breach of a suspended sentence order after being convicted of ABH in December 2022 and given a 24-week prison sentence, suspended for 12 months. Sentencing him today for the wholly unprovoked attack, Judge Maya Sikand said, "Watching that footage is upsetting and frightening, and I'm sorry to say portrays you in a very ugly light." Stanksay, who issued his reserved apologies to the victims through his barrister, was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for the assaults and another 24 weeks for breaching his suspended sentence. Source: the-sun.com. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.